I was going to say a few things, which has to do with it has relationship with even counterterrorism. Just a few days ago, we saw an incident between the Honorable Minister for the FCT and the military officer. And there have been a lot of representation that I've read in the media, which I thought that some, of course, got the point, others did not. They missed the point completely, and including a representation by a son. With all due respect, I think he misses the point. Now, what is it? The uniform is not about who is wearing it. The uniform represents the authority of the state. Whether it's a small boy or not, it is the authority of the state. It's even worse when it is a commissioned officer who has a presidential commission. And so, when you make such disparaging comments, you have desecrated the oath. You have desecrated the oath. What you have told the commander-in-chief and the authority that invested that position on him is that they are fools. So it is wrong. And I think that for the media, it is not about, in any case, law has two ends. For those, we also studied law. I'm not learned, but then in military law, we also taught that for you to be able to establish a crime, there are two elements: actus reus and mens rea. Actus reus, meaning that was this thing done? Is there something that was done? And then the mens rea, what is the intention behind it? So when a son says that the minister has authority over land and it's not the duty of a soldier, that is not the issue. Now, if you have any reason to believe that what the young man is doing, there is a channel. That's the rule of law. So you desecrated the oath. It had not left the realm of what the officer was doing. It is an offense against the state. So this is what you, the media, must try to highlight. I know that over the years, we have lost our educational traction. Civics that ought to be taught, these are things that primary school pupils, secondary school pupils ought to know, that even adults don't know anymore. The whole essence of contracts, all right, the compact that you have with the state, that every individual has ceded his rights to the state because of things like this, so that we will not, at April 29, take laws into our hand. It is not a jungle. So if the state has, designated certain establishment and they get them a uniform for you to be able to easily recognize them. Because today now, am I the CDS? I'm not CDS. Look at what I'm wearing. But assuming I was wearing uniform today, it's a different matter entirely. The officer that is in question, if you see him tomorrow wearing uniform, you wearing mufti, you will not see him. So what distinguishes the police, the military, and other agencies is the uniform. And so we should respect and honor the uniform. And that's what we should tell our children. That every Nigerian, when you see them, are they doing what is right? They may not be doing what is right. But then it is not your duty to now lay your hands on them. So otherwise, we're in a jungle. That's exactly what's happening. That counterterrorism has become a ding-dong thing. If you go to social media, nobody knows what is right and what is wrong. What was done with good intention is misinterpreted because of sins like that. And that's why I thought that since we're talking about media, terrorism, and national security, addressing the complexities, this is a part and parcel of the complexities that will give a wrong impression to those. Tomorrow, people will now think that when you see a military man, you should slap him. This is a jungle. Even police, why will you do that to a policeman? Me, as a general, I can't slap my soldier. I can't touch him. I can't use my hand on him. If I do that, either I apologize to him or I will be disciplined. The same thing across the world. Don't you see, even when police is brutalizing a citizen in US, trying to strangle, all the people around, do they go to hold him? No. Because they respect the uniform. But is he misusing the uniform? Yes. Will he be tied to it? Yes. So let us get the distinction. I thought that it would be a good opportunity to. So as I conclude,
what is the problem? How can I sit as a minister? Government officials have been attacked. Government officials have been beaten up. Government officials to the level of directorship. Then I'm sitting in my office doing what? How will such officials carry out their functions again when they know they are their principal or their boss cannot protect them? Not as private individuals, as government officials. So many people have problems. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, former general, former head of state, former president, you call me on phone. Minister, that's no good. There is a problem of land here. Please carry it. I will solve the problem. That is former head of state, former elected president. We have the courtesy of calling the minister. Look, I have this problem. I have this problem. See how you can look into it. Then I tell my gentleman, we'll call you. Look, these are people who they were retired generals. These are people who concept discipline. They didn't bother because they were former chief minister. They were former president. They never sent soldiers. They never sent anybody to go and attack anybody. They just call you. And respect the gas. Respect. I have to respect. And I'll tell them, sir, don't worry. I'm so tired. And I will do. I won't even talk about other people who are highly placed. They will come to you. Mr. Minister, maybe we didn't know of this. If we knew, we would have done it like this. When a certain Major General attacked the development control, I wrote a letter. The Permanent Chief of Defense Staff was Chief of Army Staff then. I wrote a letter to him. Because that is a certain military officer. That if anything goes wrong, he's still under the authority, under the control of the military. When I came on board, before then, President Jonathan had awarded a contract to develop another city, which was close to the military. Awarded a contract, not me. A federal council presided over by the CNC. Awarded. The contractor went there, he was just away. I wrote a letter. We met. The late Chief of Army Staff, Alabangi was there. The former Chief of Defense Staff was there. These same ministers of defense, they were there. We all met. I said, look, it is not good, this governmental problem. I mean, it's not, let's see how we can resolve this. I never one day, I respect institutions. And I know what it takes. Even as a governor, nobody no governor will say that they supported the military that will bother me. So I know. But how do you see a private individual knowing fully well that you have against the law? It is not military versus government. No. If it was military, I would have written to them that look, military, why are you doing this? This is private individual. Land was not allocated to him. Land was allocated to a company called Santos in 2007 for parks and recreation. They applied to the former minister for change of use. The minister refused. The man went, started selling land. Maybe the former chief of land minister fell into their scam, sold. This government property. It's not your property. If government officials came to say, look, what are you doing here? This is not, government has sat under the ministerial committee and taken back every land under parks and even under secretariat, because we felt that there are a lot of suits, litigations. We said, no, we won't continue with that. You send them to represent beating government officials. Not private, but government officials, beating them. Senior government officials, you were beaten. You couldn't even say, okay, let me get to the minister. See how they can help us, No, not to that. said, it's because you had a relationship with the military. And government cannot enforce laws because you are attached or you had a relationship with a particular institution. Or you come from a particular place. Who does that? Who does such thing? How will this country progress?